My name is Ella from Ella the Aviator. This is my first ever video on my channel, so super excited. So please don't worry about the editing. Hopefully we'll get better at that. And the quality also not great. I have a mic, my first ever proper mic. Sorry, I'm really loud. And I have like a very, very basic webcam, and obviously the TV's on, so the light is always changing. So sorry, you're just gonna have to deal with that for this one around. So I just wanted to talk about how I got into flying school. Super exciting. I've only got 1 month left at my job. Oh my god. So I've quit already, but I had a 2-month waiting period, so it's taking ages. And it's so hard to motivate myself to keep going, but I am trying, so we'll get there eventually. So I thought a nice one to have for my first ever video would be talking about, sorry I'm swinging on my chair, would be talking about the first initial application that you have to do. Because I kind of wanted this to be a bit of my process from going from stage 1 to knowing pretty much nothing about planes, the technical side, to being able to fly an A320. Oh my god. So the initial stage when you have to fill in those lovely online application forms, which I've always hated, because how on earth are you meant to sort of get your personality across if it's on a piece of paper? It's really hard. And they're always really generic questions as well. So stuff like, I should probably look more into the camera. Really, I'm like looking at myself. Sorry. Again, I will get better at this. So yeah, it's all things like, why do you want to be a pilot? Where is the industry going? Those kind of very generic questions. So my main advice for that would be as honest and passionate as you can. You can't have enough enthusiasm, because motivation, like your source of motivation, how motivated you are, how ready you are to do this, that is a massive part of why they select people. Because obviously it is a very grueling process, and they want to know that you're going to be in it from the get-go, all the way through your training, all the way through your entire career. So it's a very important step. Make sure that your words are dripping with enthusiasm. Another really top tip I would say, because I'm a copywriter currently, so I should hopefully know this, check what you write. I would definitely recommend not writing it directly in the boxes. I would get Word, or what is it on Mac? Oh god, something, whatever it is on Mac, the other thing, pages, or even notes on your phone, text, whatever floats your boat, go with that, and write it out in there. Just write, don't worry about the word limit or the character limit at first. Just write exactly what you feel, and I promise you'll get a much better answer doing it that way. So once you've written this entire like monologue, or maybe it's like 3 lines, I don't know, hopefully it's a bit more than 3 lines, although you might just be very concise and very straight to the point, which is also fine. That's when you kind of try and edit yourself. So go through it and read through it properly. I am the worst for this. I hate reading my own writing. I really hate it. I find it really like embarrassing almost, but I'm the only one who's reading it, so I don't know why I feel like that. It's weird. Anyway, read through it. Firstly, pick up on mistakes, and if it's underlined in red, there's normally a problem, unless it's your name on Word I'm talking about, obviously. So check mistakes. Also, sometimes Word doesn't pick everything up. I know that from personal experience, so please double check. Because obviously that does make a big impression. I mean, I know it shouldn't, but it does. It's much easier to read if your punctuation and your spelling and your grammar is correct. So that's a really big thing. And another one I would massively say is read it out loud to yourself, because try and put yourself in the position of the person who's going to be reading this. Some people, when I read, sometimes if I'm sort of in that zone, I'll sit back and I'll sort of mumble it to myself, and you want to make sure that when they're reading that it comes across very smoothly, so don't have epically long sentences. Again, something I'm not very good at. Copywriter. So yeah, make sure that they're not nice and short sentences that are very clear, but very true to you as well. I know I'm talking about it like it's really easy. I know it isn't. And so once you've done all of that, you've proofread it, get somebody else to read it, whether that is a friend or a family member or some random person you're sat next to on the bus. Doesn't matter, as long as they can read. Make sure that they read it and they think it's true to yourself. The last thing you want to do is come across as something you're not, because they're going to find that out eventually anyway. So it's much better to be honest about who you are and what you're doing. So yeah, that would definitely be my biggest takeaway from that. And then they'll usually give you really, really sound advice. My parents love giving me advice. So much advice. It's amazing. But no, it's really helpful, and you do get another perspective. But I don't know why I keep doing this. I never do this normally. This is a very unnatural thing to do. So yeah, and they'll give you really, really sound advice, which will help you fill in those applications. I have written this down in a written form if you don't want to sit and listen to this entire thing, which is on my blog, ellatheaviator.home.blog. I think that's right. I'll link it anyway somewhere. I don't actually know how to. People are like, oh, click this link that's like here, and I have absolutely no idea how they do that. So I won't be doing that. It's just going to be down there, I think. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Yeah, so those are my sort of top tips for that section. Obviously, you then have to make sure that you fill in all of the paperwork as well. And there's quite a lot. They want to know sort of everything that you've done. It's kind of like filling in your CV, but just in a document, online document. Also, might be nice, I don't know how many of you know this, but most people kind of think that you need to have A-levels and a university degree to be able to become a pilot. You don't. Most of the aviation academies now will accept GCSEs. Obviously you have to have passed maths and English, I believe, but that's it. That's all you need, and to obviously be very enthusiastic about what you want to do, and then have the skills to pass to actually fly a plane. That's quite integral to the job. People skills also very important. Yep, so you'll then go from your online application to aptitude tests to the final interview, where you also have the group exercises, and I'll do separate videos on those for kind of what I did to prepare for them, and then also what I did actually on the day. Just gives you guys some nice context on what to expect if you haven't done it before, or if you're wanting to do it, or if you've got one upcoming, it might be quite useful. Love to hear from you as well if you have any questions or anything you want me to talk about from the experience I have. I'm also going to do, once I start ground school, I'll do kind of weekly updates. I'll show you the uniform I get to wear, because I have to wear a uniform, my new house. Again, fingers, what is this? I'll try and stop that. Oh, again, I'm not looking at the camera. I will get better, I promise. Yeah, so lots of exciting things coming up. I'm super excited, and yeah, can't wait to share it all with you guys. But yeah, if you have any questions, check out my blog, which I'll link below. I'm also on Instagram, and obviously just started this channel. So really nice, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like, if you want to see everything else that I'll get up to, and for advice on how to get in and what to expect. Yeah, subscribe, and I'll keep you guys updated. 3, 2, again the weird finger thing.